Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Post, publisher of more than 1,000 comic books and marketing expert covering the woke boycotts. Target has gotten themselves into more trouble than it looks like they can handle. Everyone expected their stock to start to come back. That really would have helped them out a little bit, but it's really not coming back. It's been down as low as $16 billion lost. Now it's at around $14 billion lost. However, at the same time, they're now facing an LGBT-related lawsuit over Pride Month. They're going to be expected to explain why is it that the executives, even though they knew it was controversial, decided to invest all this time, all this money, and their entire brand in pushing an LGBT Pride Month display at the expense of everything else featured in the store. As it stands right now, their foot traffic is down, sales are down, and investors are starting to ask questions and are looking for answers. If they don't get the answers they like, there is going to be a class action lawsuit, just like Elon Musk started warning Target a couple of weeks ago. Let's get into the story. Before we do, please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up. Really appreciate you guys. I'm trying to get to 25,000 subscribers, so if you can subscribe, please do subscribe. Target has real problems to focus on, not let's try to change the world and make it more inclusive kinds of problems to focus on. For example, coming from the New York Post, Target expects profits to take a $1.3 billion hit from theft and organized crime. This is something they really need to focus on, and this problem might not even be fixable. But they won't know unless they really concentrate on their shoplifting problem and really try to resolve it. Walmart is being very aggressive with Target. They are now signing up Drew Barrymore and other celebrities to do their own unique styled collections, which is really more up the alley of Target normally. Well, Walmart is going to be eating their lunch, and there's not a lot Target can do about it. Walmart is a much bigger company than Target. And of course, Target's not really focused on this. So from the Daily Mail, Elon Musk predicts class action lawsuits against Target after company loses $15 billion following the tuck-friendly swimsuit disaster. This is something Elon Musk said on Twitter. Elon Musk has been sued by shareholders before. He definitely knows what it's all about. And of course, shareholders are sitting there and they're saying, hey, you guys, what are you doing? Could you please focus on the business, not on your social justice agenda? Because really, shareholders are there to see a return on their shares. They don't want to see a major loss on their shares. Charlie Kirk tweeted, breaking JP Morgan downgraded Target stock after its longest losing streak in 23 years, citing too many concerns rising. Elon Musk replied, won't be long before there are class action lawsuits by shareholders against the company and board of directors for destruction of shareholder value. Just because you are an executive of a company like CEO Brian Cornell, CEO of Target, or a director of a company, people on the board of directors, does not mean they can't be sued personally if their behavior was either fraudulent or negligent in some way. And we're going to find out about that as the lawsuits and information proceeds. Target has additional pressure on it coming from basically the George Soros DAs. The Democrat DAs are sending multiple letters out to Target saying, hey, you need to put your Pride Month merchandise back. You need to treat all your customers equally. It doesn't seem like they have a real case there, but they are pressuring Target, and it's one extra thing for them to worry about. The drive-ups are down at Target. This is from Reddit, identifying that normally they'd have 90 or 100 customers drive up to pick up orders, and they had only had 52. That's about a 50% drop-off. It's just one store, but obviously with their store traffic plunging as much as 14% in May, it's a concern and it's a problem at multiple stores right now. Just in the second quarter of 2022, Target was actually beating Walmart for foot traffic. They had more people in and out of their stores buying merchandise. Very, very healthy for retail, but not so much anymore after the boycott. Target stock has been downgraded multiple times, and this has been its worst losing streak in 23 years. This is JP Morgan saying, don't buy the stock. KeyBank Capital saying, don't buy the stock. Bank of America saying, don't buy the stock. Citi, also known as Citibank, saying, don't buy the stock. Mark Cuban says that being woke is great for business. Target shareholders are finding out, no, it's not really all that great for business. National Center for Public Policy Research has partnered up with American First Legal, and they've decided to utilize their attorneys to make legal demands of Target executives. They're asking for transparency on how they made all the plans that they made to go ahead and make this massive pride display and basically risk their company. And the risk hasn't turned out so well. From the Daily Mail, Stephen Miller's America First Legal demands Target transparency regarding its radical LGBT political agenda and its donations to woke activists as the market value tanks. Stephen Miller runs America First Legal and is formally demanding Target be transparent about its radical LGBT political agenda. The retail giant has come under fire in recent weeks for its Pride Month display featuring tuck-friendly bathing suits for women. It was later revealed that the company had donated over $2.1 million to pro-gay organization Gleason, whose policies include ensuring school staff should ensure that all personally identifiable and medical information relating to transgender and non-binary students is kept confidential away from parents. That is inexcusable. Parents need to know what's going on with their children. Target has since lost more than $15 billion in market value as conservatives and moderates alike continue to boycott the chain, worrying shareholders like the National Center for Public Policy Research, for whom America First Legal sent the formal letter to Target. It is asking the company to turn over all corporate books and records detailing the promotion of LGBT products and its decline in market value. In its letter, America First Legal notes that Target's 2022 annual report acknowledges that its core customer base comprises, quote, families, and says our continued success is dependent on positive perception of Target, which, if eroded, could adversely affect our business and our relationships with our guests and team members. But it claims executives at the company destroyed its perception when they recklessly bent the knee to the radical left. It did so by supporting Gleason, listing more than 100 products under the category LGBT Pride for Kids clothing, and stocking merchandise by the Satanist-inspired brand Aprilin for its Pride collection. The brand, America First Legal claims, is, quote, known for its designs that glorify violence, such as designs showing the phrases "We bash back" with a heart-shaped mace in trans flag colors, quote, transphobe collector with a skull, and, quote, homophobic headrest with skulls beside a pastel guillotine. America First also argues that its donations to Gleason prove that it supports the organization's mission. It goes on to say that the dramatic and sudden loss to shareholders is a direct and predictable result of management's calculated efforts to please its extreme leftist stakeholders, not just stockholders, stakeholders, almost none of whom shop at Target, and evidence contempt for the corporation's core customers. Quote, Target and its board of directors have failed to uphold their fiduciary duties and should be prepared to explain to their shareholders exactly why they put ideology over shareholder interest, America First argues. This is actually an excellent legal argument because a fiduciary responsibility is not like, well, our big investor at Vanguard told us to do this. Oh, BlackRock said it was a good idea and told me that they would give me a cash bonus as an executive if I just did what they said. That is not something they can say and escape their fiduciary duty. Here's a definition. Do public companies have fiduciary duty? If you are an officer or director of a corporation, you have fiduciary duties to the corporation and to the shareholders, including minority shareholders. So even if you had a company where 70% of the company was owned by one big investor, and one big investor said, I want you to do this, you still have a responsibility to make sure that you're looking out for the minority shareholders, the shareholders that would have 1%, 2% less than control of the company. In some cases, corporate officers and directors may even owe fiduciary duties to the creditors of the corporation, responsibilities to the people that the companies actually owe money to. There is a fiduciary duty. You do not get out of it by saying, well, woke is good and I want to do woke stuff, and one of my big investors told me to do it, so that's how come I did it. You can't say that as the executive of a public company. You can't say that as a board of directors. If the lawsuits are not aggressive, if they don't push, yes, then people will get away with it. You could commit murder, and if nobody goes after you for it, you got away with it. Quote, Target and its board of directors have failed to uphold their fiduciary duties and should be prepared to explain to their shareholders exactly why they put ideology over shareholder interest, America First argues. For Target to voluntarily and aggressively associate itself with this movement is an act of sabotage against Target shareholders and a destroyer of value, including for countless Americans for whom shares of Target are part of their pension funds, mutual funds, and retirement accounts on which they depend. America First Legal is proud to represent American shareholders financially harmed by Target's descent into gender extremism and child exploitation, he said. Target ramped up its diversity program in recent years under Chief Kiara Fernandez and has previously defended its support for Gleason, saying on its website that the organization leads the movement in creating affirming, accessible, and anti-racist spaces for LGBT students. Quote, "We are proud of 10 years plus collaboration with Gleason and continue to support their mission." But the company did not mention that its vice president for brand management, Carlos Severa, also volunteers as a director for the organization. He joined Target in July 2019 and was made vice president brand management in January 2021. His profile says he joined Gleason as a board member in May 2019 and was elected to the executive committee as treasurer in November 2021. Severa's profile explains the organization's mission is helping create safe spaces in schools for LGBT students. It was also revealed this week that Target's 2021 tax filing shows its nonprofit foundation funded the NDN Collective in 2022, which is an indigenous-led organization dedicated to building indigenous power, according to their website. The NDN Collective calls for the return of public land, supports Israel opening to those who identify as Palestinian refugees, and reportedly maintains hostile views on the military as they seek to have the United States demilitarized. The closure of Mount Rushmore, return of that land, and all public lands is our cornerstone battle, NDN said of its campaign, Land Back. Not only does Mount Rushmore sit in the heart of the sacred Black Hills, but is an international symbol of white supremacy and colonization. To truly dismantle white supremacy and systems of oppression, we have to go back to the roots, which for us is putting indigenous lands back in indigenous hands. As for the U.S. military, the NDN said that violence is fundamental for the U.S. to maintain its presence. Target has also funded other organizations, Fox News Digital discovered, including the YWCA Minneapolis, which reportedly gives anti-racist advice that white kids should be raised to see race in order to understand systemic racism. Another organization is the YWCA in St. Paul and the National Urban League, which advocates for federal laws restricting the Second Amendment as well as alternatives to policing. So this is what Target is facing. Sales are down because foot traffic is down and people are still boycotting Target. It doesn't look like people are really coming back to Target. They're still really angry with them and they don't trust them. As more comes out about these strange organizations that they're funding, basically anti-American organizations, it makes it hard to want to go and support a store like that because you know your money is going somewhere that is against your self-interest if you're American, unless you want to destroy the country. The foot traffic is down, the sales are down, and even the LGBT people are angry at them. There are really no good answers to these questions that America First Legal is bringing up. It's probably going to lead to a lawsuit because I don't see why Target would not just push back on them and try to withhold the information for as long as they can, hoping that things will just blow over. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Do you think Target is going to get away with not being sued over losing billions of dollars for their investors? Do you think the LGBT people will give them a break and say, hey, no problem, we don't mind that you promoted this whole Pride Month agenda and then you pulled all the merchandise? Do you think their stock will start to come back? Would people really want to invest in a company like this? Because you do have to wonder, what was the financial decision to figure that, oh, we're going to build our business by featuring this Pride merchandise without even going and asking their existing customers, hey, we have this coming up in a few months for Pride Month. What do you think of this? Are you cool with this? Do you have any suggestions? They did none of that. No market research. They just spent millions of dollars to promote something they should have known was going to upset their customers. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Always love to see your ideas. Really appreciate you guys. Please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon with another video. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.